Well, good Friday afternoon. Todd Warren here in the Forecast Center. Wanted to post a quick update here on ArkLaTexHomepage.com as well as the ArkLaTexHomepage.com app. And if you haven't downloaded the app yet on your phone, feel free to do so. I encourage you to do that because obviously you'll have better access to it if you are watching this on a computer. But give you the latest on Barry, where it's going, how it will impact the ArkLaTex, both in terms of rain as well as wind as we go through the next couple of days. You can see the latest advisory just coming out from the National Hurricane Center maintains Barry's maximum wind speeds at 65 miles per hour. The storm is still moving towards the west-northwest at 5 miles per hour. Do still anticipate that turn towards the northwest and eventually the north here moving forward, as the forecast track from the National Hurricane Center hasn't changed that much, as we're expecting landfall to occur late tonight, early tomorrow morning, pretty close to sunrise over South Louisiana, very close to Vermilion Bay. It'll then work its way east, or I should say west of Baton Rouge, should cross I-20 between Ruston and Monroe if this forecast verifies. Obviously, we could still see some adjustment westward before it's all said and done. It would cross I-20 probably sometime during the morning Sunday, and then we would see the storm continue to move through Arkansas Monday during the day, Sunday night and Monday, and then obviously move up into the Midwest for the first part of next week. So in this path, what can we expect here in the ArkLaTex? Well, here's a look at some of the spaghetti models, and you can see that blue line. That is the consensus model, basically a model that is a blend of all different models, which does a pretty good job. You can see it does take the system very close to the eastern edge of the area. It's becoming apparent that with most tropical systems that we will see the heaviest rain to the east of the center and probably to the east of the ArkLaTex, but we will see the potential for some heavy rain over the eastern edge of the area, closer to where Barry tracks through north central Louisiana. So all that said, let's talk about the impacts. Show you first of all the rain that could be associated with it. This is a look at Futurecast. You can see it's very close to what I just showed you as far as the track from the Hurricane Center. Does continue to work its way northward, crossing I-20 again sometime during the morning hours Sunday. This model a little bit further to the west, as it has been, but it has been gradually moving more eastward. But you can see the bands of heavy rain which will be associated with Barry, which will affect perhaps the southeastern quarter of the area during the nighttime hours Saturday night into Sunday. And we'll continue to see the bands associated with the system give us that chance of rain Monday and possibly even Tuesday, although as we move into the first part of next week, with the center of Barry moving away, obviously the threat of rain will gradually decrease. As far as the wind, it starts off at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Again, we are looking at winds tomorrow morning beginning at around 10 miles per hour, but as Barry begins to move into Louisiana, you can see those winds increasing here. Sustained winds, 15, perhaps some gusts up to 25 possible tomorrow. That could impact the balloons at the Red River Balloon Rally tomorrow evening. And then going through the nighttime hours Saturday, you could see the center of Barry moving up very close between Ruston and Monroe, close to that track that I showed you. And this is what we're looking at as far as wind speeds. Sunday, again, probably around 15 miles per hour here. Not looking at anything too ominous, as the strongest of the winds obviously will be to the east of the center, which is usually the case. And then as the center of Barry moves northward, we'll see the winds decrease come Monday. As far as rainfall, latest run of Futurecast here showing you that basically Texarkana, Shreveport, half an inch to an inch. But you can see those totals a little bit higher further to the east. Notice Manny, Natchitoches, close to 2 inches. These darker areas of orange here, those represent amounts in the range of 3 to 4 inches possible. Over towards Monroe, we'll get into even heavier totals. So again, eastern edge, basically from, say, Homer down to Arcadia, to Natchitoches, perhaps even down towards Manny, we could see totals in that 2 to perhaps a few isolated 5-inch totals, which would be a possibility. But it clearly we should expect that the heaviest rains here will greatly impact southeast Louisiana near Baton Rouge, going to get hammered on up into parts of Mississippi. Other models do have this big swath further to the east But nonetheless, just to make the point that the heaviest rains from this system probably will occur to the east of the ArkLaTex. And again, if you live in east and northeast Texas, rain at this point, the way it looks right now, shouldn't cause too many issues. The main concern will be the eastern flank of counties and parishes, especially in northwest and north central Louisiana, where they will be closer to the track of the center of Barry. So as far as flooding potential, that is where we will see the risk a little bit higher. This is the excessive rainfall outlook that is issued by the Weather Prediction Center. This is their version of the severe weather outlook, if you will, but for rain. And you can see that marginal risk for flooding concerns in that green area, where we could see that inch to 2 inches further to the east. Again, the eastern edge of the area over towards Russ and down towards Natchitoches, that risk does increase. And you can see the highest risk will be southeast Louisiana from Lafayette to Baton Rouge on up into parts of Mississippi. And again, this could extend eventually further to the west, depending on where the track of Barry ends up going. So that's what we're looking at as far as flooding risk. Again, the biggest risk will be to the east of the ArkLaTex. We'll be watching that closely. As far as severe weather, it does look like, obviously, with Barry moving into south central Louisiana, this is for tomorrow and tomorrow night. Not anticipating much of a severe weather risk for us for tomorrow or tomorrow night. But Sunday, we will see a possibility that some of those bands could produce some rather gusty winds. With the center tracking to our east, usually the tornado threat is further to the east of that track, so that threat also looks to be rather low. Main thing we'll be concerned about is with any of those bands perhaps producing some gusty winds. So the severe weather risk for us also looking a bit on the low side right now as far as that activity is concerned here. So that's what we're kind of looking at as far as the impacts of Tropical Storm Barry. Really haven't seen much of a change in the last couple of advisories from the National Hurricane Center, as all the models seeming to come together now for that track, taking it right across the middle of North Louisiana, very close to the eastern edge of the viewing area here, and then tracking its way into Arkansas as we go into the end of the weekend and Monday. So we'll keep an eye on, obviously, Barry. Keep it here on ArkLaTexHomepage.com. Again, if you are watching this online, I encourage you to download the ArkLaTexHomepage.com app, as we'll continue to update both locations as we get further information from the Hurricane Center and different model information throughout the evening this evening, and of course throughout the weekend.